name is Ed Krug. I'm Professor Emeritus at the Medical University of South Carolina. My role here was to be a coach for the grant writing program. My main role was to coach people who signed up for coaching assistance in writing grants for the HSI program, funding program at NSF. It started off with somewhere around 12 or 15 different participants, and each year was a new cohort. They were quite successful in getting grants, and it was also wonderful to see everybody. All we had been doing before was Zoom calls. First off, these are people that we didn't know. They come from all over the country. All we got was a little snippet of them, and they all proposed some project that was very interesting and compelling, but pretty rough when it comes to putting into a proposal. Over the maybe 5 or 6 months that we worked intensely, you could see them first being a bit apprehensive about, you're saying, this is a really good idea, but we were there for them. Any feedback we were giving them was to help them to be successful, and that everybody was invested in them. The end result was obviously a nail-biting, oh my God, I got a grant together, and it was I didn't think I could do this. One that I was just speaking with today who had her husband and daughter here and wanted to thank me for helping them through those stressful times. Then there was an absence, and we didn't have much contact for a few months as the grants were getting reviewed. And it was so fun. I was riding in the backseat of a car. I got this call saying, I got funded, and they were so excited. Some came back at different times after that, after the stars came back into a better alignment, to say that, okay, now's the time to submit. It's grant writing, but it's family-oriented. I mean, it really was like having these people that you've known your whole life through this very short few months. You got to know so much about them, and especially because it was Zoom, you'd see cats running around, and you'd see all kinds of different parts of their life. The program itself is, if I'd sum it up one way, it would be there but for the grace of God. And these people come along, and you know what they're trying to do, and you know what they're up against. And say, if there's anything I could do to help, I come to know them as extended family. And to say, if we need help, you need help, I'll help you. There's an expression that I like a lot from an old movie, A Little Big Man. Chief Dan George has this way of greeting Dustin Hoffman whenever he sees him. He says, you make my heart soar like a hawk. That's the way I feel about this. Every one of those Zoom calls where we're working on grants, I could see the persistence and the desire and the passion in people, that they were trying everything to succeed, and they were just looking for these one little things. And it wasn't uncommon for somebody to say, this little thing you said really hit me. And you never know what that's going to be. You just try to connect with people. The program facilitated those kind of conversations, treating it far beyond coaching for grant writing. It was a lot of professional development. What are your values? What's your passions? What are your problems? How is this going to help you in the future? Is it because you want to think it'd be cool to get a grant, or is it because it's really going to help you help other people? And 100% of the time, it was always the latter. To really say my interest in STEM came from a teacher when I was a sophomore, advanced biology class. And I had the pleasure of taking this in a time when there were no overheads, there were no computers or anything like that. The instructor started on chalkboards, and he would fill the entire chalkboard that hour. And I got to watch him create this masterpiece. And he was so passionate about the topic of biology. And he introduced us into different aspects. He had us reading science when we were in 10th grade, science articles. And one particular lab that we did was on embryology. If you've never seen a chick embryo, it's about 2 days old. You should, because it will change your life. And you look down at this thing, and you can see the blood coursing, and you can see the heart beating, and you can see eyes forming and things like that. It's an amazing miracle. And so that really led to then me having my own research was in chick heart development. As a biochemist, I pursued that, but I can still channel Mr. Hathaway creating that on the board. And it was just like, it's coming out. It's like, this is this knowledge. I want to connect with you. From that led to obviously me having a research career and all those kind of things, and a lot of mentoring, because I thought everybody needs to see this. My own personal story is that both my parents died 3 months apart when I was 11. And so my sister, who was 9 years older than me, raised me. That showed me what different side of life than what my friends had. And I saw that, while it was horribly sad, had so much support. So that experience has helped me to gravitate towards STEM organizations, the HSI STEM program here, the Hub, SACNAS, Abercams, anything that says people who are different. I see the next generation. I see people there at all levels, people who are getting their first faculty appointment, and talking to them a little bit about, well, promotion and tenure. So what's your package? How are you doing this? Seeing people that are mid-career, having the challenges that come when you pursue a dream and you find out that there's a lot of realities to that dream that you didn't anticipate, and how to just listen to them. Seeing deans and chairs and provosts, they have an angst inside of them. And I know because I used to be an associate dean. You have this angst where I know there's something out there to do that's going to help this. And they're looking and they're listening and having the opportunity to see the exchange of ideas and how to try to push the ball forward. For somebody who's retiring, it's very satisfying to see that, because it's like that is the next generation. I see too many people that won't retire, and you have to make way for somebody else. It's like that's part of your evolution. And these people are all like that. They're giving to the next generation and generations beyond. It's really unbelievable, the feeling of it, and it's such an honor and a privilege.